you know how it goes.
Or
I'm good.
No loyalty. Yeah.
Reunited, and it feels so good. It's like we put the band back together here.
Finally perfect. I'm finally not chasing a soccer game.
Well, everybody's been kind of,
Pre-scheduled, okay?
lots of fun stuff.
This setup just makes me feel even shorter than I already am.
I know you're
Like-
okay.
Hello. It was not designed for people at my height.
I've never thought of myself. I've never had that issue. The same
Yeah.
issue.
Well, there have been times I've been in stores that I have to almost leap, and that's what this is,
Yeah.
to reach an item.
Do they have the program that she wants? No, I don't know why.
I'm amazed they hadn't done something about it already. I mean, Keith and I could come in and fix this one Saturday.
Oh.
Couldn't we, Keith? You and I could come in and fix this just one Saturday.
Yeah,
Everything that she wants to get
yeah.
right there, even though it's fairly large.
You can make it.
Maybe a Sunday too.
Yeah. Ways this up.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's not. Okay.
Oh, the roll call.
All right, I have 5:45. I will call the meeting to order if everyone would stand for the moment of silence and the pledge. If you'd face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Recorder, if you call the roll.
Chair Laura Harrison,
Here.
Vice Chair Jeremy Burnett,
Here.
Michelle Childs,
Here.
Keith Acton, Deborah Thomas.
Present. We do have a quorum. I would like to welcome everyone to our June business meeting. Gosh, June's almost over. We're halfway over. Dr. Horrell, will you please lead us through our agenda?
Absolutely. The first item on the agenda is the opportunity for public comment.
Would anyone from the public like to speak? Hearing none, next item.
Next item, we move into our report section, and we do have our legislative liaison here, and she had told us in May that in June she wanted to share a few things with us, and we'll turn it over to you, Ms. Childs.
Yes. Sorry, my apologies on the delay. We had an amazing spring for our sports, and I was at a lot of those soccer playoff games. Looking back over what I had reported in the past, I think I had gotten everyone about up to date, but there was a few things that I had not mentioned yet, so I wanted to go over those today. One is, the first one I'll start with is SB 161, HB 1199. And this is the one that I had mentioned before about having a student on the school board. And so just to clarify, the actual law is that it's not that it changed. So it's not that you're required to have a student on the school board, but that you have to have a policy about having a student on the school board. So, and in fact, we just got an email update from TSBA that listed some of the new policies, and they've actually already sent us a example policy about that. So it could go either way. You could have a student school board member or not, but the law is to have a policy on it. The next one is SB 895, HB 825, and this is the one that a lot of schools, including our own, and nurses really wanted a cleanup on the law from last year because it left it unclear if nurses could do certain minor non-emergency first aid without a parental consent. And so this bill cleaned that part up. And then finally, SB 1336, HB 1383. And this is one where it got a lot of press, and so I just want to clarify. This is where they were saying for county governments that a legislative body, basically the school board would have to be on the same cycle as the legislative body, that they'd have to have the same term limits and the same election cycle. But at the end of the day, it basically the way it was written, it only affect Knox County and Shelby County, and Knox already has this, so it's only Shelby County. However, it's still not automatic because the legislative body has to agree to it. And right now, just FYI, Shelby County has not made a decision. The Shelby County commissioners have not made a decision. They've spoken about putting it for the vote to the public. They've talked about having resolutions, but they actually have not done any action. And I did confirm that with Mick Wright just so I could be accurate when I report on that. But again, that's for county government, not us, but it got a lot of coverage on the press. So I wanted to mention that. And then I also wanted to point out that there were several bills about school board election and recall bills, and all of them did fail. There were several. But when I did go to the TSBA legislative liaison meeting after the General Assembly closed, and they basically Nolan mentioned that that would be one of those things that would most likely return in 2026, along with more to come on TSSAA. So that is the end of my report. Questions on?
Any questions for Michelle?
What were those bill numbers again for the county government?
Deborah, you've got the floor now.
Sorry.
Yeah, Jeremy wanted to speak too. So Deborah, go ahead.
Sorry. What were those bill numbers?
SB 1336, HB 1383.
Okay, thanks. Sorry about that. I didn't even look up.
This time, I'll always yield the floor to you.
Ms. Burnett.
And just a follow-up, and you may not know the answer, so I apologize for putting you on the spot. With Knox County, do they have term limits for their school board? Or
I honestly have no idea. I just know, and again, the law was written that it must mirror whatever the county legislative body is. So if the county legislative, if they're county commissioners, if they don't have a term limit, then the school board would not have to have a term limit. So this law was saying that whatever your county government setup is, the school board would have to mirror it. It'd have to be on the same cycle, so instead of staggering it, they might all turn over if that's the way your county did it. And if they had term limits, you'd have to have term limits. But again, the way they wrote it, it ended up being only for 2 counties, and one already apparently mirrors it. So then it was Shelby, and the legislative body has to approve it, and they haven't made a decision yet.
Great, thank you for that clarification.
Any more questions for Ms. Childs? Seeing none, next item.
Next item is the superintendent report. I gave my thorough report last week. I did want to add one update. I know there's a lot of eyes on it, literally, but for the video board, we did have the video board construction get kicked off, and for the most part, the video board installation is complete. This was not something you'd be able to see, but apparently the audio installation, the separate subcontractor that were installing the audio were missing a few pieces when they showed up to do that, and so there was a delay in completing that part of it, and therefore a slight delay in the training. So I'm still working with the main vendor to kind of get them an update on when we're going to get everybody together to be trained, and that'll be the first time that we actually see the video board kind of fired up and get a sense of what that'll look like. But certainly I think and hope everybody agrees. It's a great looking board there that utilizes the existing infrastructure, and I want to, we acknowledge this in our board newsletter, but I want to thank the board for your foresight. A lot of people, might not recognize that a lot of the infrastructure for that board was put in with the high school design, and we had conversations about that and reusing the uprights. I've said this many times, there's a reason that they stuck up so high. It looked kind of funny with the scoreboard that we had, but it fits perfectly, and I want to thank Digital Scoreboards for working with us to make sure we could utilize that infrastructure. There's underground conduit that was data lines that were installed in anticipation of one day having a video board. So when the Board of Commissioners was generous enough to donate those funds, we were ready to go, and certainly made it a lot easier and a lot faster, even when pieces get left wherever these pieces were left. But hopefully very soon, and for the start of our athletic seasons, and even hopefully some before school events, we'll have that video board fired up and going. So just giving that update.
Any questions for I know some people are out last week. Is there any items that the superintendent covered last week that anybody had questions about either? All right.
I just wanted to.
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to say thank you to the Board of Commissioners for their investment in that system, and for the commissioners that supported it.
Absolutely.
All right, hearing no further questions for the superintendent. Next item.
Next item is the monthly financial summary. Again, that was reviewed and available for the last meeting, so no updates there.
Any questions for the superintendent on the financial summary? Hearing none. Next item.
Next item is the approval of the agenda.
Everybody has a copy of the agenda. Are there any items anyone wishes to add to the agenda, remove from the agenda, move from the consent agenda to the discussion action item, any such item? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. The agenda is approved. Next item.
Next item is the consent agenda. We have 12 items on the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any items anybody wishes to remove from the consent agenda? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item.
There are no further items on the agenda. The next item is discussion on the discussion action items. So the next item is announcements.
Are there any announcements? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.